But I just want to go back to the 2024 ad hoc instructions. And I think factually we've established that, and you've stated or testified that those ones were irregular, the ones in 2024. And can you then accept, and obviously with hindsight, that that would have cost the department or the city a lot of money?
Yes, it has cost us.
And it is your role as a manager in that department to also prevent wasteful and irregular expenditure. Do you accept that responsibility?
I do.
Apologies. Thank you. Then can we then move to the 2025 deployments? Now, I want to just probe out of interest. What's the level of interaction that you have with Goobies?
The level of interaction that I have with Goobies is almost the same level of interaction that I have with all of the contracted security companies. It's official, it's informed by the relationship that is governed by the SLA and contractual terms and conditions, TMPD 20.
Mr. Malachi, please try to speak up. I appreciate that it's late in the afternoon, but I could barely hear your last answer.
Okay. I was saying, Commissioner, thank you. I was saying the level of interaction with Goobies, it's the same level of interaction that I've got with other service providers who are part of the 22 entities.
Thank you. And so do you regularly have engagements with them via telephone?
I wouldn't be...
To be fair with you, the background is that they were able to get hold of you quite easily.
Yes, all the contractors, when they when they need to get hold of me, they get hold of me. I don't think there is any special relationship. I don't have any special relationship with Goobies in particular compared to others. The relationship is...
And roundabout, they would have been appointed in 2021, 2022, roundabout. You would have had several interactions with Goobies.
I had several interactions with Goobies, including the rest of the 2020, more especially around about that time, because that was when the contract was starting, that was when the deployment was kicking off, and immediately after it kicked off, that was when I interacted with them for operational reasons. By the way, as the director responsible for the function, I meet with the service providers regularly, right? Even though sometimes it doesn't happen, but in terms of the service level agreement, to meet with them almost every month, and I hope the commissioner understands my response.
So you're saying and essentially that is what is called contract management. So you're saying that you meet with the service providers monthly. Is that what you're saying?
In terms of the service level agreement,
No, I'm
but
saying factually.
factually, yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And is that detailed somewhere?
In the service level agreement,
No, I'm saying report or minutes of some sort. There's no minutes or there are minutes?
company directors' minutes are there, right? They are kept in the office, and yes, there should be evidence to that effect. I must bring it to the attention of the commissioner that even though the service level agreement says, as director responsible for the function, I should, but sometimes such meetings take place with me not being there as a result of engagements here.
And between November 2024 and March 2025, how many meetings did you have with Goobies?
I wouldn't be sure of the exact number of meetings, but there is a record to the effect that we had meetings whilst discussing this issue of ad hoc services, and there was also a time when we met for me to hand over termination letters to Goobies and the other two companies.
No, that would have been in June 2025. I'm saying prior to that, January, February, March, December, did you have any meetings with Goobies or Mr. Madlanga?
Not to my knowledge, not to my remembrance.
Okay, thank you. I think the commissioners have taken you through the irregularities of the pages of the notices for deployment. Yes, and I don't want to belabor the point. But just to summarize, I think it is established that let's just call them the 2024 deployments were irregular, and the 2025 January deployments, which we have in file, were equally irregular. Can you accept that?
I accept.
That's what we have established. And at the time, you were responsible for this, for the APSS, albeit there's other people involved, but you were at a senior level.
Yes, Commissioner.
And then if we go to page 238 of the second file, file 2, apologies. Can we go to, let's start at 418. That's the end of the file. It's just one question that we're dealing with, and then are you there?
Yes, I am there, Commissioner.
Would you recall this exchange between yourself and Velino Ndule? Essentially, just to refresh your mind, he's complaining about unlawful happenings, in particular at page 414. He talks about irregularities. At the second last paragraph or heading, he says 13 requisitions have been created by yourselves to the tune of 8 million without invoices, and yet you expect me to blindly release these requisitions. Only you can provide a better explanation to your supervisor and the chief of police on those, and I will be given a go-ahead to release as the cost center owner upon clarity. But do you know anything about this? Do you recall what gave rise to this?
Maybe just he answers, Advocate Skakani, identify the email, the date of the email, who's the addressee, who is it addressed to, then go to the specific paragraphs.
Apologies. The email starts at 413. It's from Velino Ndule, directed to yourself.
Yes, sir.
It copies Umashi Dlamini, amongst others, including Commissioner Boles and the CFO and the Chief of Police. You see that. And the subject says re-APSS dash open bracket none close bracket payment of service providers.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah, so I just am interested in your recollection of this and what he stated about these requisitions that were created without invoices.
I do not recall. I do not recall myself creating requisitions without invoices. I do not recall that, Commissioner.
Okay. Would you be able to retrieve if you responded to this email? Do you know if you responded? Do you recall whether you responded to this email? Because it's a serious accusation.
I remember exchanging emails with Velino Ndule, but as to this specific issue, I'm not sure if this specific email forms part of the exchanges that we had. But yes, I should be able to go into the system and then revisit communications that I personally made with Director Ndule and confirm if it relates to this, and then yes, see what were my response to these allegations.
Thank you. And I think to be fair to you, I will give you that opportunity to do that, amongst other things, to retrieve your emails that would either disprove or confirm what you've been stating this afternoon. So I won't take the point further on this for now. We'll just park it.
Okay.
Can I just ask Mr. Malachi, this payment issue, this payment issue here that is in these emails, is this the one that we were discussing earlier when you say you were called by Goobies and informed that they were not getting paid? Is it the same issue?
Commissioner, I am not sure if it is the same issue because there were other invoices, there were other ad hoc services invoices,
Okay.
which are different from this.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, let's go back to page 238. Apologies. Again, as I said earlier, I won't belabor the point, but what we see is this is an email. I think Commissioner Kumalo had taken me through to this email. This is an email from Commissioner Umashi Dlamini, dated 12 March 2025, and it's addressed to Chief Spees, copying, amongst others, the Chief of Police, Commissioner Boles, and yourself.
Yes.
And he raises a point in the email that there's overspending that is linked to ad hoc services and ad hoc duties. And then he's requesting that funds be made available for ad hoc duties. You see, at the end of the email.
Okay.
It's saying further that you explore the possibility of engaging the requesting sister department, which is, I think, I don't know, but I think you had spoken earlier about water and sanitation, and to persuade them, and you'll have to answer that, persuade them to engage the CFO to approve or make funds available for ad hoc duties. That upon approval and availability of the said funds, the necessary journal be made accordingly so that our budget is not overburdened. Correct? Now, in your management of these, because your office would be the one that manages these services, correct?
Correct.
As we went through. Now, did you share his sentiment that the ad hoc services were increasingly out of budget?
I did, yes.
Okay. And you will see that attached to that email, you would have known, is at 239, item 6. And basically, I think it's just a list of the sites and the invoice amounts that were owed, so to speak, that had been allocated as at that time.
Yes.
And can you confirm that that's the attachment that you are aware of?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. And you see that in this attachment, we have essentially 3 entities that invoices are being pushed for. Because
Yes.
this email does not talk of the 22,
Yeah.
it is specifically 3 entities.
Yes.
Now, there is Triotic Mkhalahati, but I want to concentrate on Goobies.
Okay.
Goobies is allocated sites of a total of 37.
I can see, yeah.
Correct. Now, can you explain, and in a normal world, it would have been that you would have gotten an email, this is according to the process you were detailing. You would get an email from a department, I would imagine these are all from water and sanitation, that would be requesting these services, and you assess them, and you see that there is indeed a need for these services in a normal system process, correct?
Yes.
And then you would then, let me say your team,
Yes.
but ultimately you will sign them off
Yes.
ordinarily.
Okay.
you will then say, I'm signing these notices of deployment to these people so that they can provide security services.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No, I'm saying we're talking at a just general level, normally. That would be the case.
Of signing out this number of sites to one company.
I'm saying the process. Earlier on, you talked about
Yes,
there would be a request for services.
okay.
It would come via email to you. You make an assessment of the need.
Yes,
Then you issue a notice for deployment. Correct? So I'm saying in relation to these sites, generally, in a perfect world, that would have been the process followed.
that would have been the process followed.
Correct.
And what I want to say going forward is, given the set process, right, I wouldn't allocate such a number of sites to one company. I wouldn't, because that in itself would create a challenge, right? Not only for me, but for the city. It would even create a challenge with other contracted service providers once they realize that Goobies is allocated 37 sites at a go and some are not even allocated one. Hence I'm saying I wouldn't allocate such a large number to one security company.
Director Malachi, this document that we are looking at on page 239, remember Advocate Sikakani showed you that it is an annexure to this email on 238.
Yes,
Do you
yes,
see that it's an attachment? Sorry.
yes, yes.
And then in that email, they say 30 additional sites were added in January, and then 6 were added in February.
Yes.
Now, if you go to this document on page 239, it talks to ad hocs only for the month of January, because if you look at the top of the page on your left, the third line, it says January security ad hoc. Do you see that?
Yes, I see, I see.
And this is January only. Now look at the cost on page 240. So you're looking at easily 17 million rands, because it is that 14 for Goobies and then the 3 million for the other companies. Do you see that?
I see.
Now, there should have been no difficulty with you identifying which are these additional 36 sites, because you have them in this attachment already. So when you were instructed to stop them the following day, all you needed to do was to go to this document and say, which are those additional 36 sites? I've been instructed to stop them tomorrow in order to save the city at least 14 million rands a month. And nothing stopped you from doing that. So your answer that some of them were previously authorized by customer departments, it does not help you, because these ones are the additional ones which are the subject matter of this email. And it is on the same day that both the Chief of Police and the Deputy Chief Spees instruct that they be cancelled. Do you see that?
I do. I do.
So you didn't have to go out and conduct an investigation. You have that list attached to the email. It was not difficult to say, looking at this report, which are the additional sites that were added in January? Because you get the months there, it tells you, for example, Klebgat, you know it's October 2024, item 1 on page 239. So you don't have to. And then you look at Refilwe, and then you've got the item there. And then the other ones that are added without dates. Just looking at this report, it should have been very easy for you to identify which additional sites were added in January and February, and to cancel them the following day. Your explanation that others were previously allocated correctly simply does not hold water.
Commissioner, the instruction was saying all adults, right? And what came to my mind was this was not the only adults that I was instructed to cancel.
But I'm asking you about these ones. Why did you not cancel these ones? Because with these ones, you can't say they were previously allocated correctly. The email tells you that there are additionals from January and February. And your chief of police, Chief Faro, says there's no budget for this. There's no money. And this is 17 million every month.
Commissioner, I agree. Like I previously said, that it has been an oversight on my part, but Commissioner, please allow me to go and revisit this communication, because here we are dealing with one-sided side of the story. And as to whether I responded to this instruction, how I responded, the commission is kept in the dark. I'm not implying that somebody might have done it to hide information, but I'm saying, as far as this is concerned, can the commissioner allow me to go and check as to what were my reasons for not carrying out the instruction immediately, if any? If it happens that I did not respond to this email positively or negatively, you see, that would then mean there was this oversight, or the commissioner said negligence on my part. But can the commissioner allow me time to go and check these specific emails in particular? Because I know with this one, the previous one, right, there were exchange of information. But as to why what I responded, how I responded to, is not part of this email, I wouldn't know. But I'm not suggesting that somebody has played it naughty to, what you call me, out of the picture. But I'm requesting the commissioner to allow me time to go and look into this and respond. If I did not respond, I did not carry instruction, I think well and good, I will accept that I did not call instruction. I've got
Continue.
I've got the reason why I'm pleading with the commissioner to, I've got the reason why I am pleading with the commissioner to allow me time, right, to go and have a look, right. I got it difficult to access my office for the past 9 months or so to date, because conditions of my suspension, they included that I should not find myself next to any office of the municipality, right? Except when I'm called upon to appear before the hearing. So, as I was preparing my statement, it came to my attention that Mr. Chief Spees issued an instruction to some of the officials that are in my office not to give me any piece of information that I might need in order to prepare myself for today's testimony. So I asked myself, and I'm continuing to ask myself, why would that be the case, right? What is it that Commissioner Spees is hiding, right? What is it? Maybe he issued this instruction so that he could manipulate communication systems and all of that. And when I appear before this commission, right, there is only one side of the story. The other side of the story, the commission is not hearing. But this can only be decided upon by the commission when I am given that opportunity, and I would request the commissioner the commissioner to direct a communication to the city of Tshwane and get the TMPD management, right, to allow me access, right, to my office, to allow me access to my colleagues with a view to try and get information that might assist the commission to do its work. Given what transpired not long time ago when I was preparing my statement, I am worried. The instructions so issued have created an environment of fear within the department. Those have been expressed with me by people I believed they are able to assist, right? And it really made my testimony very difficult, if not rendering it ineffective. Because somewhere I would be asked a question. Some of these questions, if I happened to have access to my office, right, I would have, as part of annexures, evidence, attached them, right? I think let me stop at this. The rest will follow as we go down.
Mr. Malachi, you are at liberty to supplement your statement. The evidence leaders will assist you to source whatever documents you require. I'm sure that with the communication from them, that will be quite easy to achieve. And then as to whether you will give testimony again with regard to what you are able to elicit from what's available, that is with regard to whether that will be in the form of a statement, a supplemented statement, or whether it will be by way of oral testimony again, that's something that will be decided down the line. Does that satisfy you?
It does, Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Malachi, just to conclude on this point, you were suspended in July of 2025, right?
Correct.
But before your suspension, the city of Tshwane had to follow the terms of the collective agreement. And you were first given the opportunity to explain why you should not be placed on suspension.
Correct.
Correct? Because And that would have been in June. It would have been a month prior to your suspension, correct?
Correct.
And by that point, Commissioner Spees had investigated your conduct, and he had established that, as far as he was concerned, you had committed misconduct. The invitation to you to say why you should not be suspended was premised on the fact that he thought you had committed misconduct.
Commissioner, under normal circumstances, it should be like that. But I want to bring it to the attention of the Commissioner, that I got suspended in July, and also received charges and whatever. But it was in September, if my memory still serves me well, that I received a call from the investigator who was calling to say, Mr. Malachi, I'm calling because I'm investigating this case of misconduct against you, and I wanted to check if we could meet just to take each other through what the allegations are. And my response to the caller was, thanks very much for highlighting that.
Mr.
but I'm
Malachi,
not-
I don't want to do this to
Okay.
you, but you are going to the period after your suspension. I'm more interested in the period before your suspension.
Okay.
The reason given to you for the suspension was that the city or TMPD believed that you had committed misconduct.
Yes.
And that had been investigated, at least the preliminary investigation was by Commissioner Spees up to June, because you were invited to give reasons why you should not be suspended in June, and then you were suspended in July, correct?
Correct.
Yes. And those reasons related to your failure to manage these ad hoc deployments, correct?
Not correct.
So what were you suspended for? What's the reason that was given for your suspension?
There are two reasons. I'm talking to the charges. I failed to declare directorships. To declare all directorships of my companies. Number two, I failed to penalize service providers who, whilst they are deployed, right, had activities happening that which led to the municipality losing the word call. I'm facing these two charges. There is no charge of me having failed to comply with an instruction.
Director Malachi, I did not ask you about the charge sheet.
Okay.
I asked you about the suspension letter.
Okay.
And in the interest of time, because I see that you're struggling with some of these questions, when you do prepare supplementary statement, please produce that suspension letter
Okay.
and the letter that preceded it and your response to that letter.
Thank you.
Because those are the documents I'm interested in, not the charge sheet.
Oh, okay, no, fine.
Thank you. So please make a note of that, but the evidence leaders will assist you.
Okay.
All right.
How much longer do you think we will be, Mrs. Kakan?
Chair, can I try and ask for 10 minutes maximum?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, maximum. Some of these points have been canvassed. I think we've accepted, and I think in relation to what you've spoken about, as one of the charges was that obviously with your management, what has happened as a matter of fact is that a lot of money has been paid which is irregular, and that's where, and it benefited some service providers within there, and amongst them it's Goobies. In these, you said in your statement, just to be pointed, paragraph 27 of your statement, and perhaps you can assist me if I'm interpreting it wrongly. You say, I'm unaware that Goobies 85 Solutions Pty Limited received many allocations for the provision of ad hoc security services. Now, if you compare that to the attachment, would you still maintain that statement?
No, I wouldn't maintain, but I would rephrase the statement to say, before I received that complaint, I was not aware. But now that I've seen this, and immediately after, when we started engaging about their complaint, it came to light that they, I would not, what to call this?
Okay, no, fair enough. I was just raising it so that we rephrase it accurately about what transpired. Now, in all this correspondence in email, you say also that your immediate superior, am I correct to say it was Sean Boles?
Yes, before Spees.
Before Spees.
Yes.
And generally, what was his role? Was he also aware of these ad hoc services, or did you inform him?
After
That's in relation, I think let's stick to the 2024 ad hoc services, the deployments for 2024. What was his level of involvement?
No, as far as I remember, right, he was not aware, as much as I was not aware prior to December, but after December, he became aware that there are these ad hoc services, and then we started exchanging, communicating around them. He started asking me for reports. He started wanting to know from me, right, how it came about that these were allocated.
But equally, he didn't stop those services.
Exactly my point.
Okay. And then in this exchange and the direction that you have, if you go to the page 243 of file 2,
yes, I'm there.
this is an email from Spees to Commissioner Dlamini, copying, amongst others, the Chief of Police and yourself.
Yes.
And Spees asks, who approved and mandated ad hoc security services? Who decided to give the instruction for this? And how is this process managed and managed within the department? Right? What is not apparent in all of this exchange is your response. And perhaps you are going to deal with it in your supplementary, but what we don't see is you, the person that deals with these services within your department, does not at least give clarity that, no, I'm aware of these things, or I'm not aware, I'm going to investigate. There is no interaction that at least we have in our position. But perhaps to be fair to you, maybe you can look whether you did respond and say, and interacted or reacted to this message. Can I just give you that indulgence rather for these purposes?
I know I responded
You
to
did
this.
respond, okay.
I did.
What was your response?
My response was, this ad hoc services were called upon, were requested by the department, not requested, were done by the department, and I based my response on information that I gathered during investigation, right? And I went further to say, it is said the requesting department has committed to paying for this, what you call. I even indicated to Commissioner Spees that this has already been communicated to your predecessor, right? I attached information that I communicated to his predecessor, being Commissioner Polais, on the email.
Did you tell Deputy Commissioner Spees that Mr. Phiri is the one that approved these deployments? Because the question wants to know who approved and mandated the ad hoc security services. You know at this point, in March, that Phiri is responsible for this. Did you tell, in that response that we are going to see from you, do you tell Commissioner Spees that it is Phiri that approved?
Not specifically, Commissioner. I did not tell Commissioner Spees that it is Mr. Phiri, because at that point in time, I was of the view that this were requested directly by the department from the service provider. But given the clarities that we went through today, right? Yes, I agree that whatever Mr. Phiri was done, obviously on record indicates that it was my office that was allocating, but to be specific, I did not indicate that to Commissioner Spees.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please note that I think we would need that to be provided, just so that you also have your version properly. And obviously, if you turn over at page 342, this is now an email from Chief of Police that is directed to Commissioner Spees. And what is clear there is that she's expressing shock. The email is dated 12 March 2025. It's all happening at around 4 p.m. She then exclaims that there are 30 additional sites only for January, but we can't belabor that point. And you see there he asks Polais to also explain who approved it.
Exactly.
And are you aware if Polais also responded?
I'm not aware, but I'm aware that Commissioner Polais wrote to us to respond and or give background as to how it came about that this were done, and we did that.
Okay. Would you then also include that part in your supplementary statement? Thank you. Commissioners, the part that is left apart from the supplementary issue is, and I think the others would be circulating around the same point, is the working relationship with Commissioner Spees since his arrival at the TMPD. Perhaps I can just ask the witness.
Yeah, if you could take Mr. Malachi back to his statement, perhaps, because I think that part is dealt with there.
Apologies.
I'm saying perhaps you may take Mr. Malachi back to his statement because I think that is dealt with.
Yes, I'm taking him there.
That's what you're saying.
Yes, I'm saying
Thank
the
you.
other points in the
Yes.
statement because we are just working.
Thank you.
Please
Thank
go
you.
to file 1. What I was perhaps trying to, and I'm going to request Mr. Malachi that he tries and summarize it rather than read, page, sentence by sentence.
Maybe to be fair to him, so that he does not say, I was not allowed to
Read it.
say what I needed to say. If he starts from paragraph 26, the heading, and reads towards all the way to the end, and then if anything arises from that, then it can be dealt with briefly.
Okay,
So
that's
that he
fair
doesn't
enough.
say, for example, you didn't allow me to say what I wanted to say in paragraph 28.
No, that's fair enough. Thank you for the guidance. Please would you do that from paragraph 26 of your statement?
The heading here is generation and or creation of purchase orders for Goobies 85 solutions during February to June 2025 for ad hoc services. The reasons why Goobies solutions received a disproportionately large number of allocations for the provision of the ad hoc services. My response to the question, I did not generate purchase orders for Goobies solutions during February to June 2025 for ad hoc services. Purchase orders are created by the responsible finance officials at TMPD head office. I am unaware that Goobies Solutions received many allocations for provision of ad hoc services. However, I'm aware that Goobies Solutions has been one of the reliable service providers. On 27, Commissioner, I think we just needed to rephrase it. When I'm saying I'm unaware, right? I meant to say before 2024 December, I was not aware. But since soon thereafter, I became aware that they were allocated this.
But that does not help you because the heading, the question is clear to you that the period is February to 30 June 2025. So if you now want to change your statement to refer to 2024, that was not the question that was asked. You were asked to deal with February to 30 June 2025. That's what the heading says.
Okay, no.
So rather concede that you were incorrect.
I was, Commissioner.
Thank you. You can continue.
Whether I requested Deputy Commissioner Umar Shlamini and or Commissioner Ilan Faro to request funding in respect of TMPD2. My supervisor requested funding. I prepared the report, it should be the report, and the Chief of Police, the municipal manager, approved the funding request. I've attached here the report marked TP4. Umar Shlamini was not involved in the funding request.
Mr. Malachi, in this case, your supervisor is who? Is it Bolhays?
In this case, my supervisor was Mr. Navapillay.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And again, to be fair to you, maybe the way the question was posed, the documents you attached as TP4 cover the period when protection services was not with TMPD, because if you look at all those documents, they cover the period up to June 2024. So I think the question that you were being asked related to the 2025 year. So maybe the way it was framed created problems. So if you go to TP4 on page 11, for example, you will see that the documents you attached are for the year ending 30 June 2024.
Okay.
Whereas the question that should have been asked to you related to the 2025 year. So maybe when you supplement your statement, you can deal with that question, but focusing on the 2025 year.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Because the 2024 year, you were still under, who was your supervisor then? It was not Paul Hayes and it was not people in the TMPD.
Yes.
It was the city manager.
Yes.
So this is not helpful for that purpose.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
My supervisor, okay. My working relationship with Commissioner Spees since his arrival at the TMPD. Mr. Spees was appointed as a Deputy Chief of Police Asset and Protection Services on the 1st of March 2025. I have attached the employment advertisement which led to his appointment, marked as TP5. I noted that the employment functions of Mr. Spees, as reflected on the employment advertisement, are the same as my employment responsibilities. There is no material difference from my employment functions and his employment responsibilities. Mr. Spees then introduced himself.
Is that correct, though? Not that it's an important issue, but to the extent that you are putting it out there and you're placing it on a record, maybe it does need some clarification. I'm looking at page 26, which is the advert, and under primary functions, right at the bottom, it sets out what he's supposed to do. You see where I'm looking?
Page 26.
Page 26 of that same bundle. It's the advert itself that you have attached. You've attached the advert as TP5. The same file that has your statement.
Okay.
If you look at page 26, right at the bottom, you have primary functions, and so it sets out the functions of that position. And if you consider that with the earlier document, which is your functions and responsibilities at page 6, if you go to page 6, keep page 26 open, and then go to page 6. I don't see that it's the same primary functions, unless they're written differently, but mean the same thing.
Yes,
They're not the same on the face of it.
I agree with the Commissioner.
Okay.
I think a mistake here was made with regard to the actual advert that called upon Mr. Spees, River Spees appointment. So here I attached group head, city strategic organizational performance. I should have attached Deputy Chief of Police, Mr. So as part of supplementary, I will rectify it.
Okay. All right. But that's fine. I think you can do that as part of the supplementary, but can we at least agree that on what is before us, what you have said in that paragraph in your statement, that the functions are the same, not according to the advert that you were relying on. It's an incorrect advert according to you.
Yes, no, I agree. I will rectify it.
Thank you.
What's this advert for then, the one you've attached at page 25?
This advert, I think the reason why I made mistake, this position was advertised with Commissioner Spees advert and others. So I think
That's not answering my question. What is this advert for? Your TP5 at page 25, what is it for?
this is for internal external forum. This is for the position of group head city strategic organizational performance. I mean the one that is attached here, which is not about advert
The
for
deputy
the position.
chief
Yes, yes,
for the APSS.
exactly.
All right. Please continue reading your statement.
Okay.
You on paragraph 31.
Yes. Mr. Spees then introduced himself to me and my work team as my supervisor on the 5th of March 2025. It was after lecturing us about his experience, including arresting and dismissing corrupt police officials. He made a mention of his involvement in the closing of one of the police stations in Soweto back then, where police officers were alleged to be involved. So he gave me that. He was actually introducing himself as such, and he went further to inform us that he has got valuable experience in the policing field. He has been with law enforcement for almost 40 years. He served in various capacities, from Old Pretoria to Old Benoni traffic, until there were amalgamations. He became part of the new Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. That he has been a deputy chief of police in Ekurhuleni. So he was giving us his background, and he was giving us his, due to a complaint by Mr.
Did
Spees.
you read the last sentence of 31? Maybe you did.
Mr. Spees subsequently reported, misconduct allegations against me in June 2025. This is what has led to me.
And that's why I was saying to you, it was misconduct in June 2025.
Yes.
Yes.
Commission. Due to a complaint by Mr. Spees regarding the alleged misconduct, I was then suspended in July 2025 pending outcome of the disciplinary hearing process instituted against myself. Mr. Spees is the main witness on the same reported allegations in which I was charged. Our working relationship is therefore not good. In essence, I feel like his aim is to ensure that my employment with the city is terminated. I'm suspicious that Mr. Spees was appointed through a corrupt and irregular recruitment process to the following reasons. I've noted a complaint regarding the same issue recently submitted at the Public Protector's Office by an anonymous complaint. His qualifications were questioned. His employment position was advertised despite not being approved on TMPD employment structure, a conduct which is not in compliance with MFMA. I am suspicious that he is not registered.
Sorry. Can you explain what you mean by lack of approval on the TMPD employment structure?
Evidence is there to the effect that Mr. Chief was appointed on the 1st of March 2025 to the position of Deputy Chief, Asset Protection and Security Services. At that point, the structure, the TMPD structure, was not accommodating that position. Instead, the TMPD structure was having the position of divisional head, Asset Protection Services.
What's the difference?
The difference is divisional head, Asset Protection Services. It's almost a civilian position as opposed to police rank position. And I'm saying this because, Commissioner, the security management function in terms of the law and the national policy are not functions of the Metro Police Department by law. The Metro Police Department functions in terms of the law, they are as follows. To ensure that they enforce road traffic policy, they do bylaw enforcement, and they do crime prevention through environmental design. Issue of protection and or protective security services by law, they are security functions, and these functions are regulated in terms of the law, which is the Private Security Industry Regulations Act. The Act in Section 20 prescribes, amongst others, if a man or woman is not registered as a security practitioner, that man or woman or organization, in terms of the law, cannot perform.
But I think that's something else. That's something else. It does not go to the question of the approval of a structure.
Yes.
And that's something else which we've just touched
Okay.
on now.
Okay.
You do deal with in your statement,
Okay.
and I'm sure you are close to coming to it somewhere.
Okay.
That's something else.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
My issue is what you say was lack of approval
Yes.
in the structure.
Yes.
Let me tell you the difficulty that I have with that statement. My understanding of the testimony throughout was that somebody who is within the police department of the city of Tshwane was acting in this position even before Mr. or other Commissioner Spees was appointed. Am I correct?
You are.
And that was Commissioner Paul Hayes. Am I correct?
You are.
So are you saying throughout this was wrong? Or perhaps let me ask a different question. Surely, from the fact that someone was acting in this position,
Yes.
that must mean it was in the structure, not so? In what position would Commissioner Paul Hayes have been acting if the position was not in the structure?
Okay.
He was acting in a non-existing position. That's what you say.
No. Commissioner, in 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
No, let's not take it back, please.
Okay.
Please. Was Commissioner Bolhayes acting in a non-existent position?
No, he was not acting in a non-existent position.
So the position was existing, obviously, that's the answer. So now, why does it suddenly become a problem when Commissioner Spees is appointed to that position?
Commissioner Bolhayes acted in the position of the divisional head, right, asset protection services. This is the position that was filled some time back, but became vacant, and yes.
Is that not the position Commissioner Spees was appointed to?
No, the position in terms of the structure that Commissioner Spees was appointed, it says Deputy Chief of Police, right, Asset Protection and Security Services.
That's still the APSS that you said Commissioner Bolhayes was acting in, not so?
It's so,
You just said so.
the issue of the structure, let me clarify, Commissioner, the issue of the structure with respect. The issue of the structure comes into the picture. When Commissioner Spees was appointed on the 1st of March 2025, right? To show that the structure was not accommodating that position, there is a structure that was approved on the 4th of June, right? 3 months down the line after he was appointed. And from where I am sitting, all right, I'm trying to say to the commissioner, this structure that was approved on the 4th of June 2025 was solely to accommodate Commissioner Spees, because if it so happened that there is no June approval of the structure, so in terms of the structure before this new one, right, everyone would be occupying the position as per the structure being the divisional head, Asset Protection Services.
Before June, the position existed.
Of divisional head, Asset Protection Services, not Deputy Chief of Police.
So, Mr. Malachi, the person then that you are accusing of corruption cannot be, in this case of appointment of this structure issue, must be the Chief of Police then, and whoever else approved that structure. It can't be Deputy Commissioner Spees, because he doesn't create the structure. He's not the boss of the TMPD, and he's not the boss of the municipality. So the corruption that you're speaking of, if it is corruption at all, it has to be the Chief of Police. Is that what you're alleging?
I am, Commissioner, you are correct to say it cannot be Commissioner Spees if there is indeed corruption. It could be those who came up, right, with the new structure, right, which would include the Chief of Police and, yes, which would include the Chief of Police and whoever they were working on the issue of structures around it.
No, somebody is responsible for approving the structure. Forget who comes up with it. Someone bears the power to approve the structure. And it's either the Chief of Police is the one that carries the final say on approving the structure, or it's the city manager, or it's the council. One of the three must be the person, must be the person or the body that approves the structure. It's not, can we agree it's not Deputy Commissioner Spees?
Yes,
He
I-
doesn't determine the structure, right?
I agree.
Then that leaves his boss because he reports to somebody. So it's either you're saying, and I think to the extent that you are making a very definite allegation of corruption. You're saying there was no structure, it was created to accommodate him. You should, I think you can't get away with saying, well, probably. You have to say who it is, do you say, is guilty of that corruption? And I'm giving you three that in my opinion is one of the three. Okay. You can add another one if you have somebody else in mind. But I'm saying to you, it's either the boss of the TMPD because it's her structure, and that's the person you are saying is corrupt, that they created this position. Two, it's either it is the city manager, if the city manager has the power to approve or the authority to approve a TMPD structure, I don't know how it works, or it's the council, if that is the ultimate authority for approving a structure. So you've made the allegation, which of the three are you accusing of that corruption? Because if we have to follow up a trail of corruption, that there's corrupt activity about the structure, we have to know who you're speaking about and who to speak to. So it's one of the three. You can add a fourth one if there is.
All right. Commissioner, I think the commission can inquire on the basis of my statement to the accounting officer, being the city manager. From where I'm sitting, I think he bears the responsibility.
So you are saying the city manager is guilty of the corruption because he's the one that bears the responsibility to approve a structure for TMPD. That's what you're saying.
I am saying that, but in the same breath, I'm also including those who might have submitted the structure to him for approval.
And it would have been submitted by the head of the TMPD, right?
Exactly.
So you are saying that head of this TMPD and or the head of the city are corrupt in that one of them approved the structure specifically created to accommodate Commissioner Spees. That's what you're saying. And I ask this so directly, Mr. Malachi, because we cannot allow, or we shouldn't allow this platform to be used to malign people's reputations without facts. You are making the statement, you haven't put to us the facts that back up that, and I hear your explanation why you say that this was created. You say there was no such position before. You explain that civilian, you're saying the position should not be under the police. I hear that, all of that explanation. But you are making a very specific allegation, which may well amount to criminality, which is one of the things we are supposed to investigate. So it is important that if you are alleging corruption in the specific terms that you are doing, that you should be pressed to say who, in fact, are you saying is the corrupt person in this equation?
Commissioner, I understand what the commissioner is saying. In my statement, I'm saying I am suspicious that Mr. Spees was appointed through a corrupt, irregular recruitment process. I am suspicious. So I am not definitely saying somebody is corrupt. I am saying I am suspicious given the process. I will say this to the commissioner. In the run-up to when Commissioner Spees was appointed, right? There were advertisements of the position, and in those advertisements of the position, the city.
Can we please confine this to the question being asked? The question is about the actors. Was it the chief of police? Was it the city manager? Was it council? Or can you think of more other people? That's the question. Please confine your response to that direct question.
My suspicion is on the
If you don't know, you don't know.
I will confine my.
I'm not saying you don't. You seem to hesitate when I say if you don't know, you don't. No, I'm not suggesting that you don't know. If you know, by all means, tell us.
My suspicion is confined to allegations of corruption are confined to, in as far as this position and approval of articles, to both the city manager and the chief of police.
Thank you.
Let me take you back to the issue I engaged you on. You have said there was no problem with the position, therefore, I assume no problem with the advert as well. Before, at the time the advert went out. But you say it's only in June that there is a problem. And we know that Mr. Spees was appointed with effect from 1 March 2025. So the problem arises from June 2025. He's already within the system, correct? That's how I understood you in my earlier engagement with you.
Okay. Let me put the correct perspective of what I said.
Yes.
There was a problem right from the beginning when the position was advertised, right? The problem was, when I looked at the appointment requirements, it became very clear to me that these appointment requirements are earmarking specific individual.
No, let's look at the allegation you make.
Okay.
I'm engaging you on the basis of the allegation you are making in paragraph 33.2.
Okay.
You are saying this was not in the structure. My understanding, based on the responses you gave when I engaged you,
Yes.
was that there was no issue, no question about this position being in the structure before June. So this is about the structure. It's not about how it was framed, whether it was framed to make sure that Commissioner Spees would be the person that gets appointed. That's not the issue. The issue is about what you say in 33.2. The fact that this was not accommodated in the structure. So what I'm saying is, with regard to that issue, I understood you to say that the problem with the structure arose from June 2025, but before that, there was no problem, insofar as the structure was concerned.
Because the structure, Commissioner, was different. The structure of the TMPD before June was the Divisional Head Asset Protection Services. Now, he got appointed whilst the structure was talking to Divisional Head. And it was only in June that the structure was changed and got approved. So the point I'm trying to put to the Commissioner is...
The position advertised, was it not the position that existed in accordance with the structure before June?
No, it was not. The position that existed prior the advertisement, right, was the divisional head asset protection services, not deputy chief asset protection services.
Divisional head.
Yes.
And Mr. Bolhayes was acting as divisional head.
I take it that he was acting in the in the position of the divisional head. Hence, he was already appointed as deputy chief responsible for training and all of that. But it was not with Mr. Bolhayes. It was not a problem because there was no.
He was already a deputy chief.
Exactly.
And some others.
So he came into act, and hence I took it. I'm putting it to the commission that when he acted, he was acting in the position of divisional head asset protection services, not the deputy chief of police asset protection services.
All right, thank you. Please proceed to 33.3.
I am suspicious that he is not registered with SIRA, which is a requirement for any person appointed to perform, supervise, manage private security services. Again, I am making a suspicion, and with this in mind, I hope if the commission looks into this, right, it would either find facts to say indeed he is registered with SIRA or is not registered with SIRA. Hence, I'm saying I am suspicious that he's not.
Why do you suspect that he's not registered with SIRA?
I suspect.
Because a suspicion has to be reasonable, it has to be based on some fact.
Okay. When the advert that for which Mr. Speed has responded and ultimately appointed, it made the following as appointment requirements: registration as a traffic officer, appointment as a metro police officer, right? And yes, SIRA, but these were two key factors that I took note of. Why would the city make registration as a traffic officer and appointment as a metro police officer an appointment requirement for the position of for the position in security management? And I therefore drew a conclusion that they are making this, the city is making this appointment requirements because they are well aware that there are security professionals out there who would obviously develop interest into the position and apply.
Let me interrupt you. My question is, what do you know about Deputy Commissioner Spees, about him? I'm not asking you a general question because you're making a specific allegation about him. So my question is, what do you know, what are the facts that you know about him that lead you to suspect that he does not have SIRA registration? It's really that simple. Do you know any facts at all about him, or it's just a feeling that he may not be registered?
I do not know any fact. It's just a feeling. It is based, the feeling is based on how the requirements for appointment were designed.
Okay. All right, now I'm answered. Thank you.
Director Malachi, having worked with SIRA before, as far as I know, if you are a police officer or a member of the Metro Police, you don't fall under SIRA jurisdiction because you are not regarded as private security sector. You are in public security, not in private security. So I struggle to understand the point you are making in 33.3. If you work for the Metro Police, you are not supervising and managing private security services, because the public security is public, it's not private security. So I don't understand the point you're trying to make in 33.3. And if this is your suspicion and it's not based on fact, it's really not helpful, because we can contact SIRA and ask them what the position is, and they can clarify it for us.
Commissioner, thanks very much.
Because it's like saying Ball Hayes should not have been acting in that position because he's not registered with SIRA. But if you're a Metro Police, you don't need a SIRA registration.
My understanding of what the law says, even though I'm not a lawyer, is as follows. The SIRA Act, it's very clear to the effect that if you are not registered as a security service provider, you should not be allowed to perform, supervise, or manage. It goes further to say, unless you are employed in security services as contemplated in Section 199 of the Constitution. And when one goes to Section 199 of the Constitution, the answer is very clear. Security services as contemplated in Section 199 of the Constitution, they are members of the South African Police Service. They are the National Defense Force. They are the state security agencies. The Act says they are, in terms of the law, they can perform, supervise, manage security operations only when they are still in the employ of their respective institutions. In this instance, I want to put my understanding before the Commission of this, that Metro Police officers are not members of the South African Police Service. Right? Metro Police officers are not SANDF members as per Section 199, nor employees of the state security agency.
Can we leave it here? We will make an inquiry with SIRA and get the answer from them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a last question on this? These issues that you have in paragraph 33, these suspicions, have you raised and reported them to the city for investigation? The question about your suspicion about his qualifications, the question about the structure and the SIRA registration.
Commissioner, I raised issue of the SIRA with the Office of the Chief of Police.
Is that in writing?
That was in writing long before Commissioner Spees could be appointed. But in that correspondence, I was asking a question: why would appointment requirements for a senior manager in security management environment?
Yeah, my question is more specific to Commissioner Spees, because
Okay.
you are making these allegations about him.
Okay.
So my question is, all three suspicions that you have listed here, have you lodged with the city a concern, whether it's a grievance, whether it's a complaint, in whatever form? Have you lodged any of the three or the three items here with the city so that the city investigates it? Because if you have lodged them, and we would have to hear from the city what they have done with them since you lodged these three concerns.
Since his appointment, I have not. The only correspondence I made was prior to his appointment, and then this appointment gave rise to what I was complaining about. And until today, I sat back and say, okay, fine. Even if I'm not I'm going to, sorry, Commissioner, even if I'm going to lodge a grievance or a complaint, right? As much as they did not deem it fit to respond to my correspondence in the past, right? From where I'm sitting, they wouldn't even entertain it now.
So the short answer is you haven't lodged a grievance, a complaint, or a report about Commissioner Spees as it relates to the 3 suspicions that you have listed in the statement.
Correct.
In short. Okay, thank you.
Paragraph 34, or have you read it? Please read paragraph 34.
I've listened to the allegations raised by Commissioner Spees about me, which were presented to the court. I disagree and dispute this allegation, dispute these allegations in this regard. If my memory still serves me well, generally Commissioner Spees informed the Commission that I was not complying to instructions, I was not working well with him and so forth and so on. So I wanted to put it to the Commission that it is not true that I was not complying with his instructions where it is supposed to, right? It might have happened that I missed 1 or 2, and the Commission should not take it that I missed that instruction because I did not work with him. I complied with many of his instructions, and yes, where I happened not to, it was not deliberate, you know, because otherwise I would be guilty of not taking my work seriously. But it happens in life that sometimes somewhere there you happen not to do things. But generally, I have complied with instructions that were given to me by Commissioner Spees, despite the differences that I've alluded to. So I came to a point where I realized, okay, fine, there's no way I can be regard myself over and above the organization. This organization is about the community, meaning if I'm to do what is in the best interest of serving the community of Tshwane, I would do that regardless of the differences that I might have with colleagues here and there. So my commitment is that. That is why, Commissioner, I'm sitting here, it's for 10 months, almost 10 months on suspension, getting a salary, and I'm very much guilty of getting paid, right, for so long without doing anything to benefit the city and or the community of Tshwane. I'm sitting here receiving a salary for 10 months without doing anything. But with me, I need the commissioner to note this. It is not for the first time. In 2017 to 2019, right? Fortunately, back then, I was not suspended. They just took me out of the position, right? Gave it to someone else and continued to pay me a salary, right? Without me doing anything. And back then my heart was very sore, but I couldn't do a thing until I took the matter through grievance process, CCMA, and I was awarded.
You were placed back in your position.
Back into my position.
At what stage is the disciplinary process now?
Commissioner, since my suspension in July, we never sat in a hearing and I've not pleaded, right? Every now and then they would postpone, right? It was last time that we then applied for the dismissal of the charges because seemingly the employer is not.
Has there been no decision on that thus far, on that application?
There is no decision. We are going back on the 24th of this month. We will hear the decision then.
All right, all right. Anything else, Mr. Malachi?
No, I don't have any comment. If this is to say we are coming to the end of my presence today, right, my comment would only be to thank the Commission for affording me an opportunity to come and share with the Commission these things that I have been going through all this. Thank you.
Anything else, Mrs. Kakane?
Yes, Chair. There's just 2 or 3. I know 2 or 3 issues and then I'm done. Apologies.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, please go ahead,
Thank you.
Mrs.
Thank
Kakane.
you. Just so that we are clear, you said earlier that you have been refused access to the workplace in order to prepare.
Yes.
Okay. When did you make such a request?
If my memory still serves me well, I requested, it was a day after I received the summons, and I contacted the director responsible for disciplinary hearings as per the terms and conditions of my suspension. He came back to me to say EMM has decided that I should make them aware when I go into my office to work on this. They would arrange a colleague to go with me. Then that did not what you call well with me, and I called him so that we discuss this matter. And
So when was this?
immediately after, let me.
No, it's
okay.
fine. Is the matter of last year, this year?
No, this year, immediately after I received a subpoena to come and appear before the commission.
Okay.
Yes.
So you did request and then they refused?
I would say they refused because, yes, they refused. I engaged him, and then he came back to say, no, you must inform us, and then we'll make someone else to escort you, right? And I went back to him to say, why would I be escorted? Because,
Shouldn't, I'm just thinking, Mrs. Kakane, unless you will be pushing at the end for us to make findings on this issue. The practical way, I think, is to deal with it in the manner in which I suggested earlier on, which is